Hi everyone, this is Rachel Aston, and this screencast is going to be about Kidblog. Megan and I chose to review Kidblog, and we were both pleasantly surprised with what it had to offer, and we hope you will be too. Just to give a summary of the blog review, first, within Kidblog you can publish original writing for a genuine audience, so students can post things for teachers, classmates, and approved guests. There are safety features that are integrated for the students. The teacher monitors and manages activity on the blog. So as a teacher, I can approve things. I can go in and edit things to get rid of names, if that would be necessary. The teacher also controls the viewing audience. So if a student accidentally posts to the public or accidentally posts to the entire class when it was supposed to be private, the teacher can go in and change that. It is advertisement free, so students are not seeing really odd or inappropriate ads pop up. It's simple to set up and easy to navigate. I had a couple students work on it today, and they were able to get onto a post, type 10 to 20 sentences all within 20 minutes, and they've never been on this blog before. It is able to be personalized, which I will show you, and again, that's very simple and students can figure it out very easily. And it also teaches about the writing process, especially within technology spaces. So it teaches students how to blog, it teaches them how to publish or save a draft, as well as edit, revising, and all sorts of things like that. There is a 30-day free trial, and then it is $44 a year with pretty much unlimited students and classes. So, what is it all about? First, I'll give a general overview of everything. Then I will go in and show you some authentic student posts as a student, and then I will show you how to post as a student again. And just to clarify, the teacher page looks very similar to the student page, so if you're going in and posting, not a whole lot looks too different. So when you first type in Kidblog and then you go to this class, you will need to click on Login. You'll select your name, the student's name from the drop down. I have my name in here as a student and a teacher, so I'll just sign in as myself. And then once I sign in, this is what you would get to see. So as a student, this is what would pop up. The most recent posts show up at the top, and as you scroll down, older posts show up. So as you can see, today, 8:09, 12:06, 12 p.m., and I'm going to go in and look at one of the students. As you can see, what I told my students was I wanted them to have a title, and this is what I had put on the top of the paper, so they just kind of took my, I guess they took my idea and kind of rolled with it, and they were collaborating a little bit just to help each other. So let's go into Brenna's. She was able on her own to figure out how to show a picture of cookies. Aaron was able to show a picture of a kitten. He does have his full name in his, so I'm not going to go into it, but his classmates are very similar to his. So on Brenna's, she has a picture at the top, and then I wanted them to tell me about what they think of the benchmark reading test that we are reading so far. I had her go in, I said type, go, and she was able to figure out how to change the color and post it all on her own. The only question that all of my students had was, who is our audience? And that's one question that pops up before the students post it, which I will show you. So then, as a student, you can go down and leave a comment at the bottom. So if I were to say, just quickly to show you how to post a comment as a student, and then all you have to do is press comment, and there it is. You can go in, edit, and then students have the option to reply to the comment. So going back just to show a few more student posts, scroll down. Let's go under Evelyn's. She definitely went crazy with colors, and that is her creativity. She loves being colorful. She loves just showing her personality with a little smiley face here. one thing that she did notice and say at the end was, you know, you can't really see the yellow text, and I said, that's a good thing to notice. Next time you can change that. Alright, so let's go in, and I started a post, so I'm going to go in and show how to edit the draft. So I'm going to click on this one, and it said draft at the bottom, and I began my post. The benchmarks are for 4th graders. So I want to go in and edit. So here's the edit button right here, easily found for students. I can go in and continue typing my post. And once I do that, I can hit publish. Now, this is where my students had the question, who is our audience going to be? And I told them, let's have our classmates be the audience. That way they could go in and comment on each other's posts. So then all they have to do is hit publish. If they would like to change it, they just change it to teacher. Only I would be able to see it. If there were connections that they would want to make, maybe their parents, they could hit connections and hit publish. So that is what I could do. So let's go back and start a totally new post. Like I said, I gave my students their username and password. I told them, here's what your topic is, here's some ideas what you can write about, go. They all were able to sign in, they figure out to hit new post, which is at the top here, clicked on that, enter a title, click it, and you can enter their title right here. Like I said, a couple of my students figured out how to add a picture. Click on add image header. You can go avatars and headers, and there are, as you can see, 9 pages of pictures. So you could pick something that relates. You could take a picture, you could go find a link, you could take a picture from your computer. And then hit insert, and like I said, I didn't give my students any directions, so they figured out how to do all of this all on their own. I do teach 4th grade, so they have some experience with computers, but not a lot. We've never used anything like this, and my students all said they haven't used anything. So when you are typing your post, they would be typing their posts here. And as you saw, most of my students were able to figure out how to change the color. They know to highlight the text, click up top, and change the color. A few of my students were able to figure out how to change the background over here where I have the diamonds. When I was walking around, they figured out how to change the backgrounds. Not too many of them were playing around with fonts. A couple did have some italics in their fonts, and I would say that I would most likely have to teach them about tags. But back to the Kidblog, I could hit publish. I'll publish just to the teacher this time. So when I go back to my class, mine popped up because it is under my name. If I were to log in as someone else, it wouldn't pop up. So let me log out of my student login, and I will go under mine. I just want to show you some changes or some different things that are in here. So as you can see, this looks very much the same. I did not set up anything to make it any more private or to approve comments, but as you can see, it looks very similar to the students. So when you are showing them how to do things, you could show them from yours. Up top here is where your dashboard is, so you go under dashboard. This is where you can add new students. You can have multiple classes, that's where they would show up. In order to add users, click on users at the bottom. Join codes, create students, very simple. I could create a student right now. Let's say make up a password for them, add user, and then when they go to log in, they can add their username. So I hope that you have a little bit more information about Kidblog. I think it's a really, really great tool, and I honestly think that if I can figure out how to fit it into my schedule, got to touch base with some parents, I think that I'm going to integrate it as something that students will potentially be able to do at home, or I might give them a project or a piece to write about and say, hey, write about this by the end of the week, and then comment on it the next week and see what we can do. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to add something into the Google Doc to ask any questions. And I hope that you will find this to be a useful tool for both elementary and middle school students, and high school as well. Thank you.